coming up later this hour. Well, Sam Smith from The Last Dance. You heard
I was going to mention that, yeah.
Is coming up at 4 o'clock. But later this hour, there's a Broadway actor, a guy named Allan Krill, that I went to a play in December, and he walked out on stage and started singing, and I thought I was being punked because he looked so much like you. Like Steve Mason. Matter of fact, with the station sent out a side-by-side, I'll tweet it out. Twitter at LA Ireland. So Sean, who is apparently a very good sport, is going to come on to discuss his stunning likeness with Steve Mason. Lindsay, when is that? 3:30, 3:45 later this hour, right?
3:30, yep.
Okay, cool.
He looks like me. I don't look like him. Does that make sense?
Most people seem to think you'd want to look like him.
You think he's got a leg up on me?
You look like his older brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we the same age, or is he older?
No, you're older.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
Oh, he isn't held up as well. Must be all that Broadway.
He most of his hair is gray, but it's not. He's still got a little darkness to it. And you've gone full gray, so that's the giveaway.
All right, coming up next for you, Stephen A. on LeBron's confidence in the NBA season returning for the playoffs this year. We got that coming up for you. Plus, the NFL is acting just like full steam ahead. We got that coming up for you, too. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN. Hey, May the 4th be with you. Mason and Ireland. It is officially May the 4th. All right, coming up next for you, the guy that looks like me from Broadway. Now, John, where did you see this guy?
In Jagged Little Pill on Broadway in December, and I thought I was being punked. He walks out on stage and started singing, and I went, wait a minute, that's Mason. And it turns out he's just a guy that looks like you. So
I can tell you definitively it was not me, because I have not trod upon the boards in a long time, John.
Let's find out. Now, I've never seen. If I hear both of you on the phone at the same time, maybe I'll be convinced.
And I've been told to prepare an Alanis Morissette song.
Now, he doesn't know we're doing that, but let's see if we can get him to sing one and see if you can. Who would be a better on-stage presence, you or Allan Krill?
All right, I know who would be funnier. All right, that's coming up next for you. Yes, you're right. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN. All right, 710 ESPN, Mason and Ireland, and I have a doppelganger, and he is almost as talented as I am.
Now, what's interesting about this is normally when somebody walks up to you and says, "Hey, you look like somebody."
Yeah.
The people who you are saying look alike don't agree, but you would agree.
Correct.
You look like Sean, right?
100%. 100%.
And online with us is one of the stars of Jagged Little Pill on Broadway, Allan Krill. Sean, you're a good sport for coming on, man. How are you?
Having me. It's a joy. It's great to talk to you guys.
So now, Sean, when you saw the picture of Mason, again, most people will not admit they look like someone else. You had to see the resemblance, right?
No, absolutely. I was flattered for sure. I was like, "What? Who? Hey, guy."
Yeah, there you go. I guess we should ask you. When I saw you in December, you were obviously living and working in New York City. Are you still in New York, and are you healthy and safe?
Safe, healthy, still in New York, and we're just hunkering down and trying to flatten the curve and get back to it as soon as we can,
Yeah. Broadway's is going to be a tough one, right? I mean, Broadway is, first of all, it's expensive to put a production up, and then the idea of having limited capacity makes it tough. What do you think the prospects are for Broadway coming back?
Well, we're kind of in the same boat, right? With anything to do with large crowds, so sports and anything in the entertainment industry is sort of in the same boat right now. We're just it's a tough call trying to decide when it's going to be okay to have a bunch of people all in the same place at the same time again. As far as we know, Jagged Little Pill will be coming back whenever whenever the city, the state, the government, deems it safe. So that's where we are right now. We're coming back.
Hope so. Yeah. I'm as you may have been told, I'm kind of a Broadway nerd and
Broadway John.
Yeah, every time I'm in New York, Sean, I go to a different show, and someone just said, if you haven't seen Jagged Little Pill, go see it. I knew nothing about it other than it was the music of Alanis Morissette, and then you guys all blew me away. Did you know right away, Sean, that you had something, or even you wouldn't know until you got it in front of crowds and actually went out there and did it? Or did you know as soon as you saw the script that this was going to work?
I did. I connected to it right away. It was a couple years ago when I first was sent the script, and I just fell in love with it and really, really, really wanted to do it. Thought it was really special, and it's got a very powerful message, as you saw when you saw the show. And and everyone in the show feels the same way about it. I think we're all very passionate about it, and it means so much to us. And it's just been it was so incredible that it has translated to audiences enjoying it as well and really, really connecting with it. Because that's not always the case, but with this one, we've really had such an incredibly positive and strong reaction to it, which is wonderful. I can't wait to get back to it.
Actor Sean Allan Krill is with us. He is in the Alanis Morissette show on Broadway, which I've already forgotten the name of. Remind me.
Jagged Little Pill.
Jagged Little Pill, of course.
And Mace, do you know Sean was in one of your favorite shows of all time? Sean was in Mr. Robot.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was. Season 2.
Season 2. Nice. Yeah, it's a crazy show. That's an outrageous show, right?
Isn't it? Yeah, I know. So much so that we didn't even really know what was going on when we were doing it. There were so many sort of twists and turns to the plot and big reveals, that we weren't even allowed to know what was going on fully.
So, Sean, let me ask you something. It's been I'm a classically trained actor. It's been a few years since I've trod upon the boards. Do you need a stand-in? Because people might not even know the difference. There's always that moment. Tonight, the role of Sean Allan Krill will be played by Steve Mason.
Well,
I can imagine something like that happening.
Here's what makes it even stranger. The name of the character that Sean plays in the play is Steve. Steve Healy,
really?
Right? Right, Sean?
Yep, Steve Healy, yes.
So
you'd be very, it would be very natural for you, Steve. Everybody would be calling you Steve.
Perfect.
Now, Sean, can you sing the songs that you don't sing in the play? Like, if I threw an Alanis Morissette song at you, could you give me a line or two?
I think so. I mean,
okay.
I was very familiar with the album Jagged Little Pill, so I think so. Yeah. Why?
All right.
What's going on?
Because Mace, obviously, if you were going to fill in for Sean on Broadway, the one thing that Sean and everybody in that show does really well is sing.
Yes.
So,
as do I.
That's my question. Can you sing anything, even just a couple of lines from the Alanis Morissette songbook?
Well, I've prepared a small performance
really?
for you, Sean.
Excellent.
Consider this an audition. The song I chose was Hand in My Pocket. Now, do you do that song?
I do not do that song, but I know it.
Okay. So I've prepared this. Here we go.
All right, so we're going to be able to compare the two of you to see if Mason could pull this off. Mace, you first. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm broke, but I'm happy. I'm poor, but I'm kind. I'm short, but I'm healthy, yeah. I'm high, but I'm grounded. I'm sane, but I'm overwhelmed. I'm lost, but I'm hopeful, baby. What it all comes down to is that everything's gonna be fine, fine, fine. 'Cause I've got one hand in my pocket and the other one's giving a high five.
Sean, what do you think?
Seriously, don't come anywhere near my job because I'm just glad you live in LA because I do not want you to take my job away from me. So stay where you are.
That was actually like better than mediocre. Sean, am I crazy or was that like actually passable?
No, it was really, really good. It was really great.
Thank you, Sean.
I have a question. Did you have those lyrics written down? Because that's the hardest part of that song is the lyrics.
I have the lyrics right in front of me. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I did not commit them to memory. I'm not off book, Sean. I'm not off book yet.
Sean, I was going to make you sing it, but Mason was better than I thought he would be. So I don't know if you sing it, if we can sufficiently embarrass him, which was my goal.
There's no contest. That was awesome.
Well, you know what's weird, though, Sean, and why I have so much respect for all the guys that do what you do, is the night I was there, I watched the show, and you guys blew me away, and I called my buddy who had turned me on to it, and he said, by the way, you saw the understudy for your daughter. The night I was there, it was the first night she had ever played that role. And
wow.
And she, I don't know if you remember that night, but she absolutely shredded it. She killed it.
This was in December. Was in December?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe January. Could have been January. But
I wonder who it was. Because we've had two women go on for Frankie.
Yeah, and she was, whoever it was, she was unbelievable, and so are you. I mean, all you guys were. Is there a chance this play ever comes to L.A.?
You know, I mean, I'm sure it's the kind of show that would tour, but that's going to be a plan that's, put in place once we sort of establish, getting back up on Broadway. And then, but yeah, I mean, I hope there'd be a national tour, and then maybe, and LA is one of those cities that, it's big enough that they might even do like a sit down production of it there, so
because here's what I'm thinking, Sean. You and Mason could cut a side deal. You just stay in New York and do it there. Mason does it here. Nobody knows the difference, and you guys laugh all the way to the bank.
I love this plan. Yes.
Excellent. Well, listen, Sean, thanks a lot for coming on and playing our reindeer games, man.
It was great talking to you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right,
cool.
See ya.
Thanks, man.
And if you haven't seen the resemblance between Sean and Mason, I just tweeted it out right before he came on.
It is a little scary.
Yeah, and like he has a website, SeanAllanKrill.com, and he spells Allan Allan, so it's Sean Sean Allan Krill, and he's got maybe 10 or 15 pictures, and I swear half of these look like it's you.
His website's way better than mine.
Yeah, you should have the person that does his website do your website.
Do my website,
and
exactly.
His suits fit.
Yeah, my suit at stevemason.com is so oversized for me. Although, one thing I noticed is that Jordan's suits all look too big for him.
Very true. I think you must have taken that picture in the 90s because you and Jordan had the same fit on your suits.
I think that website does date back to the 90s.
By the way, there's nothing I'd like more to completely mock you. Your singing was actually very decent.
Oh, well, thank you.
Lindsay, didn't you think Mason's singing was way better than you thought it would be?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was kind of hoping for a sing-off, but I guess we didn't really need one,
Yeah, I mean, the sing-off wouldn't have worked because Mason actually was. You always say you're going for respectfully mediocre. You were better than that.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm excited
Very impressed.
about that. We should do more shows, more songs from
I got it.
John's favorite Broadway shows.
No, I got it.
Yeah.
Mason and Ireland, the singing podcast.
Oh, that is so great. We should do that. Would go through the roof.
We just take requests and sing them.
The Culture Pop podcast. We will do that live. We will do that.
We'll do it live.
All right, coming up next for you, the NFL seems to be full steam ahead, including the announcement of the schedule this week. We'll hear from Jeff Darlington coming up next for you. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.